the executive director for Florida Youth Soccer Association. As Sarah just pushed the button there right off the bat, I will let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded. We're going to put it out to our membership. So those who couldn't join us this afternoon can view it later. So again, thank you all for being here. This is a special event for FYSA. We're really happy to be hosting these, hopefully the first of many. This is about health and safety. Obviously, it's an AED presentation, and we're very lucky to have partnered with the AED Superstore and Allied 100 to give us some special pricing on AEDs. I want to make it very clear, this is not a sales pitch, despite the opportunity to purchase an AED and the equipment that goes along with it. At the end of this, we're going to be hearing a lot from Jenna, who works for AED Superstore and Allied 100. But this is all in honor of Fatjon, a coach that we lost far too early, who I will toss it to a couple other individuals who can speak to him a little bit more personally. But again, right off the bat, I do want to thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for being a part of this. And with that, I'll send it first off to the FYSA president, Kai Belmer. You're muted, Kai.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Joel. Thank you for everyone that is on this call today and that will be watching. We lost, yes, as you said, unfortunately, way too early. Fatjon Susaj last year. And I thought it was important that we all come together and promote the importance of AEDs because, you know, some people don't know that they're not at all facilities. And if they are at some facility, sometimes people don't know where they are. And they're a very important device that could save a life. And we've also invited Florida Premier's Chief Executive Director, Novi Merrick, on this call because he unfortunately had to deal with obviously something terrible of losing one of his coaches unexpectedly. That something I can't even imagine. Obviously is pretty hard for the soccer community and their club. And so want to make sure that we honored Fatjon and talk a bit about, in his memory, and also the importance of AED equipment being available at the field. So I do want to hand it over to Novi to kind of maybe take us back to that day. And also talk a bit about the person that Fatjon was and how his club has coped with the loss of one of their own.
Kai, first of all, I'd like to thank FYSA and Kai Velmer specifically as well for putting this together. I know after this happened, I was big with all the leagues, different associations. Kai was the first one to reach out and reply and saying definitely that FYSA was going to put something together. So thank you very much. This means a lot to us. Fatjon was very close to a lot of the youth soccer clubs in Tampa Bay, not just for the Premier. He had great relationships with a lot of the coaches. Like I stated earlier, first of all, he was a great person, also a great mentor to the kids. With the incident, right, when it occurred with Fatjon, they were at the Tampa Chargers fields, and it took a while, right? First, nobody at the facility knew where exactly the AED was located, which again, at most of the facilities, almost nobody, even our coaches at our facilities, we have an AED at every single facility, but a lot of them didn't know, didn't, after the incident, when we talked about it, didn't know where they exactly were located. So I think it's very important. What we did as a club is, a couple of months ago, we did have a class. We went over exactly how to use an AED. We have now at every facility maps pointing with a big AED sign where they're located. Because again, we don't know if you will have saved Fatjon's life, but it is, again, we should try our best to do anything going forward that an incident like this doesn't occur again, and at least everybody on site should know where the AEDs are. So again, it was very shocking to the club, it was shocking to the players, and also the staff, especially at the young age that Fatjon was. So that shows us as well, right? Anything can happen any day. And this is, I think, a great opportunity to talk about things like this, where we, right, as clubs, as FYSA, can help everyone else and hopefully prevent of situations like this happening again.
Very well said, Novi. Thank you so much. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce and I guess turn it over to, again, FYSA's partner at Allied 100 AED Superstore, Jenna.hunter. Jenna, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, Joel.
Go ahead and take it away. You can. You should be able to share your screen whenever.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing that now. Wants to put out any questions for things you'd like me to talk about, please feel free. I wanted to keep this as flexible as possible because especially for people who aren't familiar with AEDs, there is a lot to take in. Can you guys see the AED Superstore screen? Am I showing you the right one?
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. So I guess to start with, we'll mention a little bit about AEDs in general. As you can see, just from the main picture right here, let me see if I can move this out of the way. There we go. We have several different brands and types. There's a lot to choose from. But when Joel and I talked, we kind of landed on this AED right here, which is the HeartSign 350P for multiple reasons. It's budget friendly. It's built to be rugged and durable in outdoor conditions like when you guys are at the soccer games. Even though you can see it is a small, compact, lightweight little unit, it's a tough little thing. And so by having this on hand, it's going to be ready to go in case you guys ever need it. It uses what's called a pad pack right here, which is a little bit unique to this unit because most AEDs have pads and batteries that are separate. So then you have, 2 expiration dates to worry about and a little bit more maintenance. This one allows you to use just the one cartridge that contains the pads and the battery together, and it lasts for 4 years or 1 use. No AED pads are reusable. They do need to be thrown out after any use. So if you guys ever do need to use it, you would just pull on that little green tab that you can see there. It allows you access to the pads, so that way you can place them on the patient. As you can see in this picture, it just slides into the bottom of the AED and then it stays there until you need to replace it by just squeezing these tabs here on the side. So it's very easy to operate, user-friendly. It does walk you through the rescue. And then these pictures here, they each actually have a little LED light inside of them. So when the AED is on, it'll give you some visual prompting as well. So if you can't hear it as well, a light will be flashing to let you know which step you should be on, and it will continue to go around and change, throughout that rescue based upon what you need to be doing at this time. At that time. It does tell you, when it's time to perform CPR, and it will give you a metronome to keep pace with. So that way, you can feel comfortable that you are doing the compressions at the rate that you need to be doing them to make them as effective as possible. And even though, this is what we gave special pricing on, if, any of you are interested in purchasing an AED, but maybe, you know, this isn't the one you want to go with, I am happy to talk about any model that we carry, and can still, you know, work on it on a case-by-case basis to bring the price down to try to meet your budget. We just want to make these as accessible as possible, you know, because you just never know when you're going to need one. There are, you know, plenty of other things that we offer in addition to AEDs if you need them. For example, Cpr Aed Training, if you know, want to actually have that class, get certified, and have that confidence, you know, that you have a better understanding of how to use it and what the process will be if you ever need to use it in a rescue. And we have several different class options for that. Our instructor would come directly to you. You don't have to worry about going to a facility. They bring all of the supplies, the mannequins, the training masks, anything that you would possibly need during that rescue, or excuse me, training, of course, including the manuals and things like that. Due to COVID, we have, you know, increased our sanitizing measures and things like that for not only our products, and how they're handled when we receive and ship them, but also during our training classes. The instructors will actually do all of those processes right in front of you, so you can feel confident that everything is clean and safe. So we are trying to do our best to make people feel as confident as possible and as safe as possible, especially now that things have changed so much in the last, you know, year and a half. But I am going to kind of just stop for a moment and get back to that chat screen to see if anybody has said anything. Here we go. Oh, okay. I don't know if everybody has the chat open there, but you can see that Craig chatted in and he runs a charity. I'm not familiar with it, but I will definitely look into that as well. And I see Jose here asking for, so this AED can be used on an adult or a child. This particular one would need you to purchase the Pediatric Pad Pack, so it can be used on a child 55 pounds or less, which is typically about 8 years old or younger. So you would then, you know, have the 2 pad packs, and you would just need to switch from the adult to the child pad pack if you do need to use that in a small child rescue. I'll move this over here. And I'll just let them finish with the announcement in the chat here. It looks like they're asking for the name of the charity.
Looks like it is heartgame.org.
Yeah.
Well, Jenna, do you want to talk at all about the pricing that we've got arranged with you guys as well?
Yeah, of course. I'm just going to put that over on the other screen for you. So I have the quote in a PDF form, so that way you guys can get a nice, easy look at it. We have a couple options on here. We have our value package that would include a wall cabinet as well as signage if you do, you know, want to mount it somewhere, whether it be, you know, under cover outside. This is an indoor cabinet, but as long as it's under cover, it would be okay. We do have outdoor cabinet options if you want to be able to have it, you know, next to a field or something at all times. We have different outdoor fiberglass cabinets that can be purchased for that as well. That is not currently on the quote, but again, I can definitely always work up a price and show you what that would be. So you can see it's usually about $13.65 for that package, and we were able to bring it down quite a bit. And then we also have it quoted as the AED with the carry case only. So that way, if you guys don't need the cabinet, you do have a little bit of savings without those extra options. They are pretty close in price, but that's just because we wanted to give you guys the best value we could either way. Typically, this value package is actually about $50 more than when you purchase the unit without it. And I just want to quick bring this over as well. Sorry about that. I was catching back up on the chat again here to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Okay. So then what we have a little bit lower on the quote is the replacement pad pack, so you can see what the price would be in 4 years, or if you did use it. The adult pad pack is the first one listed here, and this is the pediatric pad pack. The pediatric is a little bit more just because there is extra technology in those pads to let the AED know that it is going to be a child rescue. So then that pad pack will lower the energy level to make it safer for that smaller heart, and it will also change the voice prompts to let the rescuer know where to place the where to place the pads on the chest for that pediatric patient versus an adult patient, because it is different. Pediatric pads are actually placed one in the middle of the chest and then one on the back in the middle of the shoulder blades. We did also quote one of our first aid kits in case you guys were interested in any of those. We do, however, have hundreds of different first aid kits. So again, if you ever want to look through and there's something that you're interested in, feel free to give me a call or an email. You guys are, of course, welcome to purchase things separately. You don't have to, have an AED to get a first aid kit. If you already have an AED and you just need something to go along with it, I'd still be happy to honor this pricing, even if it is just one or a couple of the items. This next one is pricing for the CPR class that we talked a little bit about. So this class does certify up to 10 people. So if you do have all 10, then you can see that price would average to about $67.50 per person. And then you would receive your certification card by email after the class has been complete, and that will last for 2 years. We do have first aid and bloodborne pathogens as well that can be added on to these classes if that's something that you would be interested in. And then this final item is our ARCH program. As you can see, it's a medical direction and program management. And what it does is not only provide you with email reminders of pad and battery expirations, and we can even track those CPR AED certifications for you to let you know when you need to set up another class, but it will provide medical direction. And what that means is if you use the AED in a rescue, we would actually work with you to collect the AED from you so the data can be downloaded. During that time, we would have overnighted you another AED just like the one that you have. So that way you are not without an AED while that data collection is going on. And then that data is reviewed by one of our physicians so they can create an event summary detailing, if the AED performed the way it should. It'll talk a little bit about how much CPR was performed, the number of shocks delivered, things like that. And then we are providing you with a copy of that report, just for your records in case you ever need it. And it will allow you to keep that on file. The pricing that you see here is for a 1-year subscription. We do have other subscription links available that would have a little bit more discounting, built in than renewing annually. But again, that all comes with that flexibility. Don't hesitate to ask any questions or, see if there's anything else we can do. I can always check with management. And, the worst they would say is no. But at least if we ask, we can find out, what other options might be for you based on your circumstances. Did you guys have any questions about anything on the quote, or is there anything else, that you'd like me to show you on our website or anything like that?
Anything from anybody?
I don't see anything coming through the chat, just kind of some general conversation about cardiac arrest. Yes, I can definitely do that. So I apologize that I didn't think to have a slide up for, but I can type it out to you guys in the chat and also let you know. So my email address is pretty simple. It's jenna@aeds.com. My direct phone number is 800-785-6436. And that will ring right to my desk. So you guys are welcome to email me or call me with any questions or anything that you might have. Let's see, provide. So Aura, we always quote on a case-by-case basis so we can see what the best pricing is possible. Because of the situation that FYSA went through with Fatjon, we tried to bring this particular AED down to the lowest pricing available already. So depending on what you're looking for, we might be able to bring it down a little bit more. For example, if you're looking at a pretty large quantity, management can see if there's anything else they can do with that. If you are looking to purchase just the one, this particular AED is currently priced at our lowest price available. So I wouldn't have probably too much wiggle room left on this particular model.
If I may chime in here, yeah, if they're looking at AED pricings myself over the last 6 months, this is, I must say, this is very good pricing. The lowest I've seen so far. It's obviously because it's from what every time I've seen the one you're quoting here usually has been running between $1,300 and $1,500.
Kai, this is Snowy, and I agree with you. This is really good pricing, guys, for the AEDs.
Looks like Jose has his hand raised. If you want to unmute yourself and ask a question. Jose, you're muted if you want to.
Hello, good afternoon.
We can hear you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bernardine Herard. So I just like to ask if that, like, the team is for the what age group, like probably U19 or U18 or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is quite the venue for that, but if you'd like to give somebody in our office an email, I'm sure we'll be able to help you out. Jenna, thank you so much for being here. Craig, did you have something? I see you've unmuted yourself as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do see we have another good question in the chat too that I'll address before we end.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is Craig Goldenfarb. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. I'm a lawyer in West Palm Beach, and I started a charity. For those of you who are on the chat, if you go to www.heartgame.org, that's www.heartgame.org. I'm a soccer player, played college soccer, and I'm also a lawyer who practices in this area of law. And I founded a charity 10 years ago called Heart of the Game. And our specific niche is giving away AEDs for free to soccer clubs all across Florida. So if you don't have one and you want to apply, we have a lot of them. They're free. We also provide AED training for free for a year to any sports club, but we focus on soccer because I'm a soccer player. So if you want to apply, that's why I joined this Zoom, to offer my charity up to provide as many AEDs as our charity can afford.
That's wonderful, Craig. If you want to connect with me separately, I will toss you my information in the chat here. It sounds like a wonderful thing, and again, as I stated off the top, there's no sales pitch here. This is all in the name of Fatjon. FYSA gets no kickback. If anyone's interested in purchasing, please contact Jenna directly. You're cutting FYSA out. We just really wanted to make this information and get this platform going. So thank you all very much for participating here. Jenna, did you want to address that one question?
Yeah, Sarah had asked to explain a little bit about locations for an AED and things like that. It is definitely a good question. So a lot of the times customers will ask in regards to our cabinets if we have locked cabinets available. And the answer to that is always going to be no. They are not created with the ability to be locked because they need to be accessible. And as far as like cabinet placement and things like that, there are American disability guidelines that need to be followed to make sure, if someone is in a wheelchair or has another disability, that makes it a little bit harder for them to reach that cabinet, that it's placed at a good height. And we provide instructions along with our cabinets that specifically detail those so they know exactly how to place that. As far as where to place it, whether it's in a cabinet or not, we have what's called, the American Heart Association has the 2-minute shock, drop to shock rule. And it's basically a guideline that lets you know you want to have that AED somewhere that you can get to it and get back to the patient within 2 minutes, because you want to get the pads on the patient and have it start analyzing as soon as possible. After that, for every minute that goes by without that AED, the chance of recovery goes down by 10% every minute. So it is very essential to get to that AED as soon as possible and get back to the patient.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm not seeing a whole lot more in the chat. I guess I would like to throw it back to Novi and Kai if they had anything else they wanted to wrap up with. I think it'd be an appropriate finish if we again revisit Fatjon.
From my side, it's with Craig. That's great news. I mean, with the organization, and we didn't know about ourselves as a club when we purchased ours, and we worked with the county, and then also firefighter department. They helped as well with the AEDs. So, but that is amazing with the charity that you have set up, and I will recommend for all the clubs that don't have AEDs to apply for that.
Yes, thank you, Greg. It's a great charity. Also, thank you everybody that participated today. It's you know, when it's something that we need to talk about more often. That the AEDs, you know, are essential. They should be at every site and visible, and people should know where they are, because it said it could save a life. And it's important that we, you know, continue to, as we move forward, continue to send that message to raise awareness, because it is, you know, important. You never know. Hopefully, you'll never need to use it, but in case you know there's a situation that it's there and we can prevent, you know. You know, I just, you know, it's Fatjon was in his early 30s, and you know, obviously we don't know if, you know, it could have helped, but you know, it's obviously if you have something that you can use and you feel like you've done everything you could, you know, it just, like I said, it was a big shock to me when I first found out. Because he was a vibrant, strong guy with a great future ahead of him. And I'm, you know, just thank everybody that participated on this call, and Jenna for being on here, and Greg coming on here to raise awareness and to, you know, make sure that we do everything we can to provide a safe environment, and for our families, for the coaches, for the referees everywhere, and have the necessary medical equipment on site if there's ever a situation.
All right, it looks like we've got one last one from Sarah here. Take us out on a good note.
Yeah, I just want to say that this is a wonderful gathering of like-minded people, and I'm happy that I'm in Lakeland, that the Tropics sent out this information to join, and I look forward to working together with a lot of you on preventing this, and you know, like you guys are doing, getting those AEDs out there. One thing that I haven't heard yet that I just want to encourage is that anyone, regardless of age, can be empowered to save a life with an AED. And one thing that I always tell when I donate one or speak somewhere is to encourage your athletes to be involved in this. This isn't just adults need to know where these are, it's players. And usually the fastest ones on the field are going to be the players. So what I encourage our coaches and leagues to do is on the first day of practice, you walk your kids to the AED and say, this is an AED. It can save your life, your best friend, your coach, whomever, and you have the power to save a life from this day forward, because they're never going to forget what an AED is if you introduce it to them. And that way you can say in an emergency, go get the AED. Those kids are going to outrun you any day, and they'll know exactly where it is. So exactly like she said, within 2 minutes, you got to get there. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. Empower your players.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful message. We try to do that with young students up here.
Yeah, I've done AED trainings with kids as young as 8 because my kids are that age. So we get them together and they all know how to use it. I always tell people, don't be afraid. If my 8-year-old can do it, you can do it too. Doesn't matter if it's loud or buzzing, just do it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, guys.
Yep. Thank
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Kai.
Yep. Thank you.